Welcome back, everyone. Let's finish up today's discussion with Judge Nelson Johnson and Mr. Ralph Hunter.
Mike, before I went on the bench, I practiced law, and much of my practice was in Galloway Township. I had the chance to watch faculty members and people connected with the university have a very positive influence on Galloway Township. I kid you not. The town center and where the township hall is and that whole area of very positive growth, that would not have existed without the leadership of people from Stockton. Mr. Hunter and I have talked about this before, and I'll let him pick up on it. In the past 20, 25 years, the best thing that's happened in Atlantic City is Stockton University. I have real high hopes for what the university, the students, and the faculty can do to help uplift the entire community. You agree, Ralph?
I wholeheartedly agree, Judge. It's simply because you have a university that brings students in from all over the country, as far as New York, Washington, D.C., state of Seattle, California, coming here to come to our beautiful campus we have at the right there on the boardwalk and at the Atlantic Ocean. It's amazing to see those smiles on those students' faces when they have a chance to live that close to the ocean. It's really going to be fantastic for the city, just knowing that the university's here and they're doing great things, not only just locally, but internationally. And I'm really pleased to be a flag waver for Stockton University because of the great work that they've done locally to help the people on the north side as well as the people from Des Moines, Iowa.
2018, it was an amazing turn of events when the grand opening of the Stockton University Atlantic City campus. And again, we were touching on it briefly, just to be able to see those students walking through the streets, Albany Avenue, on the boardwalk, sitting, having a class on the beach. Dr. Jonathan Pitney spoke of health and wellness, right, in 1854, and I think this is part of it. We spoke a little bit about eds and meds. We're going to backtrack a little bit, but with the Atlantic Care is doing a big thing in Atlantic City.
Atlantic Care has a very positive footprint on the community in terms of extending health services to the community, employing people, very positive footprint.
Atlantic Care, I recently found out there was a gentleman who used to volunteer for the museum some 20 years ago, and he turned out to be having a drug problem, and he was on drugs for many, many years. He called me 3 years ago and told me he was going to go back to school and he was going to get a job working for Atlantic Care. He now runs a program bringing homeless people off the streets for Atlantic Care. And I was so amazed at him when I took him out and bought him dinner last week to see his accomplishment, how he came from here to there. And it would never happen if it wasn't for Atlantic Cape Community College, Stockton University, and of course, Atlantic Care to pick him up and hire him and bring him out to bring the other people off the streets. Amazing.
Mr. Hunter, I'm smiling the way I am because I can appreciate what you're saying, and I know who that gentleman is. He's a great guy, and we've gotten to know each other. And what Atlantic Care does and brings to the city, along with Stockton University, one of the things I have always hoped and wished when these young men and women at the campus in Atlantic City and here in Galloway, whether it be Atlantic Cape Community College also, take those degrees and stay in that city, because we're going to transition over to what's going on.
Some will and some won't.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
But
they follow the money.
Just their presence and just the school's presence is having a very positive impact on the community, and the way the Atlantic City campus has reached out and is working in cooperation with the Atlantic City Boys and Girls Club.
Amazing.
I mean, it's a really positive chemistry. I really like what I see.
It's strong. Dr. Kesselman just recently was on as a guest on the show, and as a Mayflower student, to see it transition back to Atlantic City is amazing. Again, we come in the times we're in 2023 are up on the right on the calendar in a couple weeks. What do we see? And we're going to start with Mr. Hunter. What do we see for Atlantic City in the next, say, 5-10 years? I'm not asking you to rub a crystal ball or anything like that, but
I think in the next 5, 20 years, 15 years, whatever time it takes, I think you're going to see the African American Heritage Museum become part of perhaps one of the greatest universities in our region, Stockton University. That's my hope, it's my dream, it's a dream of my board of directors to be part of this great institution. That's one of the things that I'd love to see happen, both on President's watch as well as others who are really excited about bringing that African American experience to the university in such a way that students from all over the country will learn what took place here 162 years ago.
Yes. Judge Johnson?
My hope is that some of the graduates who leave Stockton upon graduation stay in the community and run for office and serve in government. And by doing that, they will have a very positive impact on Atlantic City's future. That's my hope, that we'll have students that will get active in politics, active in government, and help uplift the entire community.
There you go, fellas. We got about 2 minutes, and I'm going to talk to the students out there and some of our viewers. Listen, the man knows what he's talking about, both of these guys. We want them to come. We need leaders. We were talking about leaders. Gentlemen, take about a minute apiece. What do we see as far as, I don't want to say politicians, public servants, and that form?
I think a public servant's a person who wants to give back to his or her community. And I say his or her because we need both genders to become involved with what's happening in our country and in our government. More and more people have to believe that they can make a difference. One person can make a change. If you believe you can bring something new to the table, bring it, even though the guy next to you thinks you're off the wall. It matters not. It's what you can deliver to the table to bring to people to understand the importance of your belief in another way of getting that apple pie baked.
There you go.
In my lifetime, I have seen women really emerge to become leaders in just about all the professions. I'm not saying, they've displaced men, but they're working side by side with men, and that's a very positive thing. And I'd like to see some of the female students who graduate from Stockton stay in the area, run for public office, serve in public government, and continue to lead the community and uplift the community. I think they will.
And I hope so. I think with what's going on now, and again, not to knock anything, there's a lot of titles. Listen, you're not a boss, you're a leader. And that's what we call you to do, to be a public servant.
And a leader is somebody who makes themselves indispensable, somebody that they cannot be ignored. You don't have to be the boss to be a leader.
Thank you. Mr. Hunter, we got about 30 seconds.
The humanities are so very, very important. And folks who have the opportunity to want to give back to society are my kind of folk.
Gentlemen, thank you again for coming out. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
This will continue. Thanks again to Judge Nelson Johnson, author, and Ralph Hunter, founder and director of the African American Heritage Museum of Southern New Jersey. Folks, we'll be right back.